Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some words to get us off to a good start today and for the week. Really chilly out there today and damp and windy. And so we made about as fast a journey out and back in the house as we could. And now TJ's all curled up on his bed and here we are. So, our card for today fits in well with the theme that we've been kind of moving forward, and I think there's an interesting twist I want to put on this that hopefully will be helpful to a lot of you, especially women of a certain age who've been taught certain things about this word that I think aren't relevant anymore. So, our card deck is the Soul Coaching deck from Denise Lynn. And the subtitle is What Your Soul Wants You to Know. What your soul wants you to know. So, a couple of nice deep breaths. Settling into right here, right now. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Just letting your shoulders drop, wiggling a little bit, just getting comfortable and ready to receive this message. So, our card for today is power. Power. And pay attention. What's your instant reaction to that word? Many women in particular kind of shy away from it because they've been on the receiving end of power over. They haven't been as much invited to the table for power with. So I believe that's changing, and I believe that we are going to come to a place where we are far more comfortable owning our power and that we exercise it as power with, not power over. All right? So let's see what it has to say. Power. Card meaning. Express your strength with grace and take back your power. It's safe to own your gifts. How many of us, again, women of a certain age, we're told, don't be too smart, don't be too loud, don't be too this, don't be too that. Screw that. Be as much of whatever you are meant to be as you are meant to be. Let's offer the world our full gifts. No more dimming our light, hiding it under the basket, any of that crap to make people around us feel not uncomfortable. Sometimes making people feel uncomfortable is precisely the role we're supposed to play. It's why Spirit has put us into a particular circumstance. I'm typically the one who says, hey, we've got a pink elephant in the living room. Let's deal with this instead of let's pretend we don't see it. Okay? So is that a fun role always? No. Sometimes people are quite resentful of the person who points out we've got an issue. But not pointing it out doesn't mean it goes away, right? So we need to, I think a huge step is releasing that belief that we have to have everybody's approval in order to be okay. Because bottom line is we're never going to get everybody's approval. And there was that, I was upset at one point, and it's still that way, because my Facebook business page, I have ratings of 4.6. And I'm like, well, other people have like 4.8 and 4.9. And a friend said to me, if you're at a 5, if you're at a 4.9, it's because you're not challenging people enough. You're being too Casper milk toast. If you're stirring passions and getting people off of kilter, off of plumb. Good morning, Deb. Glad you're here. Then you're doing your work. Then you're doing your job. Then you're showing up the way you're supposed to. It's not being nice to everybody, especially when nice is complicity. You're going along with crap that isn't okay to go along with. So let's not shoot ourselves in the foot anymore. There's my sunshine, because I don't know if I'm going to see any outside today. But we need the rain. It's good. It's all good. It was kind of like a Halloween out there this morning because the wind is blowing and the rain's falling off the trees, and it was quite interesting. Good morning, Deb. I've got my Deb contingency here. This is good. This is good. This is good. So, again, our word is power. Our word is power. And we're talking about it in the perspective of power with, not power over. We're not lording it over anybody. You've got fog. We didn't have much fog, but maybe closer to the water we would have. But we are using our power to effect change. Whole different ball of wax, right? Okay, so let's see what else the card has to say. Well, let's start at the beginning. Since you two have joined me, I'm really glad. Oh, there's the third person here. I wonder if it's another Deb. Express your strength with grace and take back your power. It's safe to own your gifts. That's where we kind of went off on my little tangent. It's safe to own your gifts. Accept that within you is a place of divine strength and inner ability. Again, we want to be people who, when we die, our gifts have been used up. We've used them amazingly, not tucked them in the mothballs and they never saw the light of day and people didn't get to experience us fully, right? Your soul wants you to know. This card appears when you're ready to stand in your power. If you've lost or given away your authority to someone or something else, it's time to now reclaim it. And that's our personal authority. We have the right to feel the way we feel, think the way we think, do what we choose to do. Yes, sometimes there are consequences for the choices we make. So be it. We may still make them. Good morning, Scott. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. So our card again is power. And we're talking about power with, not power over, power with. Okay? If you're holding on to limiting beliefs, or if you're afraid of being shunned, judged, or ostracized, it's time to let go of those limitations. You know one place where I notice that? Facebook. When I'm thinking about posting something that I know is going to be controversial, but it's really what I believe. It's really where I'm coming from. I oftentimes have to think it through, have to talk my way through it. Okay, Bonnie, you're not on this earth to make everybody your best friend. You're here to speak your truth. You're here to do your work. You're here to put your gifts out there. And one of my gifts is making people uncomfortable. And in their discomfort, they grow. That is where we grow. When we're sitting in the middle of the comfort zone in our lounge chair with our flip-flops and our sunglasses and our pina colada, we are not growing. When we get to the edge of our comfort zone and we're looking into the abyss of the terror barrier, but on the other side of that abyss, we can see growth, change. Good morning, Betty. Glad you are here. We can see a more full, valuable life. We need to step over. We need to step into that abyss. And just like with Indiana Jones, he stepped into the abyss and the path rose to meet him. We will be caught. We will be held. She says, this is perfect for me now. Glad, glad, glad. Lean into your gifts. Absolutely. Lean into your gifts. I love that. So let's see what else it says. Release any fear of misusing your power. Many of us have seen examples of people wielding power over, crushing other people, abusing Mother Earth, etc. And then if that's the definition we've seen of power, yeah, no wonder we don't want to deal with that. That is not the only definition of power. Power can be using your strength to effect the changes in the world that we want to see. It can be the hand up to someone who needs a boost. Not the hand out, a hand up. All right? So, true strength doesn't dominate or manipulate. Hear that again. True strength doesn't dominate or manipulate. If you look at the people who effected great change in our world, oftentimes they are not the blustery, loud, I've got you under my thumb, I'm going to put the screws to you people. Those are not people of power. Those are people misusing power. Oftentimes they're bullies, and they are not, when you poke the bully balloon with a pin, it fizzles. It fizzles. There's no substance there. On the other hand, when you have someone who stands regally in their power, a Nelson Mandela, for example, that doesn't deflate. It doesn't deflate. It holds up under pressure. In fact, it gets more magnificent under pressure. Mother Teresa, the stuff she did with the limited resources she had, especially initially. I mean, certainly as she became more famous, she had access to more resources to help the people she was helping. But in the beginning, it was mostly her and some of her sisters just doing the work, right? So looking at people who wield power in that way, how can I use this to help? How can I use this to advance everyone? All right? So, true power doesn't dominate or manipulate. It's a gift from the Creator that dwells within us. You have the spiritual power that's born of sacred love, wisdom, and grace. This ability can heal others and bring light into the darkness. And again, I want to say, no amount of darkness can snuff out the light. And any small pinprick of light pierces the darkness. All right? So, that spiritual power born of sacred love, wisdom, and grace. When you think about a power that comes from love, wisdom, and grace, can you see how it's a whole different animal than that manipulative power that we've been exposed to? Whole different animal. So, power. Your mission for today, should you choose to accept it, is I want you to think about your power, your gifts, your ability to affect change in our world, your ability to make a difference, one small step at a time, okay? The one I love to trot out is recycling. Recycling. What if you recycled just a little more stuff? Yesterday was paper recycle day here. I emptied file folders like a maniac. So the recycle bin is out at the road, and it'll be off to be refurbished into something new and better. What can you do today? How can you exercise your power in this divine, loving, wisdom-oriented way? That's your mission. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Talk about power with somebody. Talk about power with as opposed to power over. Let's get the definition changed, and then the behaviors change, and then the world changes. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.